right, everybody, welcome back into Mining Stock Daily. We have an important corporate update and drilling update from Heliostar Metals today, coming from that Ana Paula project, and happy to welcome in the always dapper Mr. Charles Funk, CEO of the company. Hey, Charles.
Bring me Trevor.
You got that double Windsor on so well. Always keeping it tight. I mean, you have to. You have to today.
Once you went to videos, I thought I'd dress a little more snappily.
Well, you mentioned I got my Colorado denim on today, so just keeping it real. But hey, huge drill results out this morning from the parallel panel there on Ana Paula. You and I had chatted about this before, talking about finding this new target about 50 meters away from that high-grade panel. So not a huge step out, but important because it's 147 meters of 4 grams per ton gold. That included 16 meters of 11 grams per ton gold. That was coming out of hole 9. Hole 8, a little bit shorter, but also meaningful, 14.8 meters of 5 grams per ton gold coming out of the parallel panel. But listen, it's not just about the intercepts in the grades here. Not only do you prove out the parallel panel, but it also has implications based on the direction of that drill. It has implications on that high grade panel as well. So open up the book here and tell us what you know.
I was thinking about it as you were just explaining that. Most of what we do as a development company is quite boring in the sense that we lay out a plan and we know if we deliver on that plan that it's very profitable to do that. And so we spend month after the month like de-risking, saying, yes, we achieved this, yes, we achieved this, yes, we achieved this. And it becomes quite just a monotone repetition of the company narrative. But that's what makes days like today pretty exciting because it's new. We recognize this new zone and we knew it had potential. It hadn't ever been previously known of. And so to show that the parallel panel is going to add a material amount of ounces is pretty exciting. And then where you're heading, which is jumping straight to the chase, is because of where we were testing the parallel panel, it was a good hole to continue and potentially expand on the high-grade panel. And it stepped down and it's hit this, spectacularly long, consistent result. And it shows you there's a lot more ounces still to come from step-out drilling on the high-grade panel. So it's kind of cool to find something or to put out news that shows that even though we've got a resource coming out in November, there's already more ounces that we know can be added once we update it again.
So how do you let's stick with the parallel panel first, because that really is the highlight of the news. Kind of what with these two drill holes or the other any of the drill holes at the parallel panel, give us a sense of more of what as far as where this mineralization is going, the direction of it, and how do you kind of follow up on this?
Yeah, one of the great, a great philosophical cliche of standing on the shoulders of giants, in the same sense of when you pick up a project, you build on all the knowledge that the previous people learnt the hard way and developed the hard way. And so most of the early drilling is from east to west, chasing a model that the rocks dip to the west, and that's the best way to find the gold. And eventually you build up enough of a data set and you recognize that the gold's in these east-west structures. And again, I'm making hand signals, which are terrible for radio. But if you drill east-west holes to find east-west structures, you're a hero or you're a zero. The methodical way to do that is drill perpendicular from north to south. And there was enough drill density previously that we recognized that was the better way to drill. And so all our drilling's been on that orientation. And that makes it easier to find these kind of zones. So a couple of drill holes in the past did drill into it, but then they'd miss by either side and couldn't connect at all. Whereas our systematic drill program of north-south holes has routinely hit it in each hole. And so these are the first holes that specifically target it since we recognize it. And they're showing very good widths at very good grades.
Okay. Is this, I guess, what do we not know about parallel? I mean, we obviously know it's there. You've proved that out. But what do you not know? I mean, could there, I guess, reading this news release and not being a geologist and trusting and, the experience and knowledge of such as yourself, is there
local geologists?
well, is there potential that this parallel panel is just a part or an extension of the high grade panel?
Yeah, so I think there's two things we don't know. Start with one we do know. Very clearly, it's a discrete zone. In the section you see in the press release, they get very close, and it's a reasonable question to ask. But particularly as you head to the west, very clearly, one's a structure with a breccia in it. The other's a fault structure. The parallel panel is just a straight fault structure that's as good at absorbing gold fluids. The two things we don't know is we don't know the full size potential. It's open at depth, it's open along strike in each direction. So it's a good thing not to know.
Sure.
The other one is there isn't enough drill density to understand the continuity of the gold. So far, the evidence looks very good that it's very continuous in there. But from a resource estimation perspective, we need a lot tighter drill pattern in there with these good oriented angle holes to confirm that. So I think it has the potential to add 100 to 300,000 ounces above and beyond the resource estimate that we'll put out this month. It could be more than that because we don't know how big it could grow, but it is a material amount of ounce addition, very close into our center of mass.
Okay, so this will not be included in the updated resource estimate. That's an important note. I assume you and the team have already put together starting plans on adding more drill holes into this parallel panel. So talk about what that strategy looks like. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, so this is a sort of a bit of an exploration phase. These holes, and now we've stepped out and drilled some holes in another target called West Breccia, a lookalike to the parallel panel just to the west. Sorry, lookalike to the high grade panel. And then we'll come back and drill some more holes in the parallel panel. And then next year we have to convert it into a full-on resource program. But at the moment we're just sort of getting a sense of some dimensions. You can see one of these holes is in the east of the parallel panel, another one's in the far west. So we were just proving our concept, and I think very clearly now parallel panel's got to move to resource drilling.
Okay. Upcoming news as we move into the winter and the end of the year here, Charles. What will shareholders and people watching this be hearing of next?
So, to talk my book, the winter is a good time to both physically and from an investment perspective pivot from the north to Mexico. Our biggest catalyst is the resource coming out this month.
Okay.
That's going to be a massive line in the sand for us to show all the drilling that we've done this year up until these results, what impact they actually have on the contained ounces. Then we'll have more results. So more results from these growth targets, the West Breccia and the parallel panel. And then next year, we can start wrapping economics around the resource update. So a combination of continued resource growth. I'm bullish. I think we can be 1.5 to 2 million high-grade ounces with a good drill program next year. Even though we're doing the resource, there's room to grow the high-grade panel. There's clearly growth in the parallel panel. We'll see what these other zones can grow. And so, if we're talking 1.5 to 2 million ounces, a 3-year pathway to production, an extremely wide ore body, it is a very unique opportunity we've got at Ana Paula.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be on the road for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to do my best to make sure you and I connect when that resource estimate does hit the market, because I know that's obviously important, a huge catalyst for the company in the coming weeks. So we'll do our best to connect once that's published here. But Charles, I do want to ask you, you were actually on the road doing some marketing in Europe, and I thought I'd just maybe quickly ask kind of your what are some of the thoughts and feedback you got from European investors while you were over there talking about the company and the work? I mean, how is that sentiment any different than what we're kind of seeing here in the West, in US and Canada?
Yeah, so I have a strategy of at the moment, it might change, but of kind of avoiding these big conferences where I suspect you're heading to.
Mm.
I think with the market being, in a bit of a malaise, you're better off having sort of deeper, more engaged meetings without 60 other companies shouting over your shoulder. I think what I learnt most out of it was Europeans have a appreciation and appetite for precious metals more than North Americans, and I put that down to, if you're from Italy, Greece, Germany, or you don't believe in the euro, you have a natural pessimism about fiat currency. Whereas Americans in particular have never seen a true debasement of their currency, like a drop off a cliff debasement. It's always been a drip, drip, drip erosion. And so I think there's a clear difference in these financial times. Europeans have a greater understanding of the value of gold as an insurance policy than you see in the US, and therefore there's been a better appetite in a weak market.
Okay. Well, interesting insight. All right, Charles, congratulations on these drill results at the parallel zone, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next couple of weeks. Big, important resource estimate coming out. Best of luck, and I know it's all hands on deck to get that out. So, everybody have fun doing that.
That will be for us. Thank you, and travel safely, Trevor.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's your update from Heliostar Metals. They are a sponsor of the podcast. I am also a shareholder. They do trade on the Venture Exchange with HSTR and on the OTCQX with HSTXF.